Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Jeff Diedrich and Liz Tomey.
All right, thank you. As I stand in front of the...
You need to go over there.
Really? Is that what I should do?
Yeah.
Maybe you should do that.
That's how it's going to be.
That's how it's going to be all weekend. We're like brother and sister. What we wanted to first do is just kind of introduce us to you guys. Some of you know us, some of you don't. You might know some of our stories, so if we're repeating it, I apologize now. We'll try to throw in some new stuff. As you heard, Jeff Diedrich, and Liz has already seen this, so some of you might have seen this, so she already knows what's coming. This is, of course, myself and Liz, but then you know what's coming, Liz. This is Liz. I call her, that's the Hulk picture. She was at a...
This is what Jeff makes me do. He drives me insane, and I just Hulk out.
I think I was sitting there making fun of her, and I just took my camera, quick click. But as I had said before, I'll be fair. That's myself and Tom Beal being dumb and dumber at a seminar. Or not a seminar, but at a cruise, a marketer's cruise. So this is formal night. Everyone's supposed to be dressed all nice and formal. That's what we decided to look like. We got a lot of laughs out of it. Well, real quick, here's a story on me. I've been doing this for a long time. 44 years old, born here in the U.S. I've never filled out a resume in my life. From college on, I had my own business. We started it as a joke. Literally in the dorms, there was a sign that said, wanted DJ, and a phone number. And we called them up, and we're like, oh yeah, we can do that. And they're like, how much do you charge? We're like, how about $10 and all the beer we can drink? We didn't have any didn't have any, at the time, albums. I'm dating myself. Didn't have any equipment, albums, nothing. We had just seen people doing it. We're like, how hard can that be? We had a great time. We actually had maybe too much beer. We dropped a turntable and broke a cover. And since we borrowed it, we had to buy a new cover. That cost us $30. So we were in $20 in the hole. But we just saw how easy it was. And we bought some of our own equipment. We obviously started raising our prices from $10 in beer. But we started buying more equipment. We started hiring people. By the senior year, we could do 4 shows at once. We had 2 vans. We had radio ads. We were at bridal shows. We were traveling all over the state doing not only college parties, but traveling all over the state doing weddings and class reunions. And we brought in, our goal was to hit 40,000 our senior year, but we came up a little short. I think we're about 36,000. But it was a great opportunity not only to have fun in college, because we were at literally the biggest parties on campus. They would hire us. I mean, everyone knew us. There was one night we could have done 11 shows. We had that many calls. But we only did could do 4 at once. But we still did 2 during the day, 4 in the evening. Then we did a late night, like an after midnight type wake-up party. So we were bringing in some good cash. But once you see that, and that's what we're going to talk about this weekend, that whole process of making that first dollar, or in this case, like, man, that's pretty simple. Your mind just changes. And from that point on, I'm like, well, I don't want to work for anybody. This was so simple and easy. I want to do it myself. So from that point on, I pretty much myself and another friend, we formed a business, opened a restaurant at 23, had 5 of those, and then we decided to start selling off those because the companies were making mistakes. That's another thing. Don't ever hold on to a loser. If you've got an idea, and I see this happen a lot, people have ideas that are just not good, or they just maybe didn't think it out correctly, or they were even in the wrong niche. They found out that they're in a niche that the people do not spend money. You also get rid of losers. Well, you've got a loser idea, a loser business, a loser website, whatever it is, don't worry about it. People that are hanging on to all those domain names that you thought you would use, that you're never getting to, don't worry about them. Get rid of them. They'll still be there more than likely. Unless it's a killer keyword rich, you can maybe try to sell if you're not going to use it. But get rid of the losers. And that's what we did with those restaurants. We saw them making mistakes. We got out. If you were to track the strength of the business the corporate business, the averages over the course of all the franchisees. We almost sold at the top because we saw them making mistakes. And because we sold at the top, we got big money. Well, we were sitting around like, what would be cool to own? And we were looking at different restaurants and things like that. And my buddy Mark just said, fitness club would be really cool to own. So 4 months later, we wrote a big check and took over 2 fitness clubs that we bought. Again, we didn't know first thing about it. But sound business practices that some of the ideas we're going to go through here, you can take from one idea to the next to the next. If it's a DJ service to a restaurant and a restaurant to a gym. Actually, a restaurant and a gym are almost like competing ideas. You're trying to get people fat in the restaurant and lose the weight in the fitness club. But we knew we could make that jump. So all we did is we dove into that idea, fitness club. We subscribed to every possible publication. We ordered educational stuff like you guys are doing. You're learning that. We talked to other gym owners. We talked to the current gym owner. Obviously, before we sold it, we were in there a month beforehand, learning everything we could do. Found out what he was doing right, found out what he was doing wrong. He was running a pretty successful business with the 2 gyms, but he was like old school that wasn't doing simple things like follow-ups. People would come in and tour. He wasn't following up with them, wasn't sending, stuff that just blew my mind. Had no tracking system, just all these things that you knew you could improve on. So we just took that and really got the clubs running really smooth, too smooth. If you know my story, there again, I got bored. I knew every January, okay, I'm going to order 50,000 postcards, 100,000 inserts, radio ads, television ads, blah, blah, blah. We had done it. So there was the challenge. It was successful. And you would think it would make sense. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Let's kick back and relax. Well, that's not me. I want the next challenge. I literally thought I would be there the rest of my life with those clubs. Bought them in '99. 5 years later, I was out. Gave my month notice to my business partner, just saying, I don't feel like going into work anymore. It was weird. You heard the story. I got up in the morning. I'm like, I don't want to go into work. I've never felt that in 20 plus years. And it was still there the next couple of days and for a full week. And I tend to move pretty quickly. So I waited till after Christmas, waited another week after Christmas. I don't want to freak out my business partner before the holidays. Told him afterwards that I was gone. But I had everything set up to run so smooth, he was happy too. We had everything documented. Even though he didn't know anything about advertising and marketing, he was the numbers man. It worked out for both of us. I got a nice sized check. He didn't have to pay, a partner. He just had to pay a normal worker to do my job. And so it worked out great for both of us. And moving online, same thing. Jumped online, didn't know a thing, just like you guys. A year before I quit the clubs, I found out about internet marketing because I wanted to market to my members. Had no clue about an autoresponder, no clue about anything. I'd been online, surfing around, but it's a different mentality when you're just purchasing or when you're going to create the site and trying to figure out the sales process and all that stuff. So yeah, I was sitting like many of you guys, not knowing hardly anything just 5 years ago. But what we'll go through today is it's a process. A lot of it is copying what other people are doing. That's a lot of times the key. I already mentioned that. And also my 2 daughters, a lot of this has to do with freedom. Most of you have jobs. Obviously, you're tied down to those. Even when you have real-world businesses, you're tied down. We had just the 2 fitness clubs, 80 employees. I wasn't tied down like I was in the restaurants. I had to be there every Friday and Saturday. That was your busy times every Friday night. There was no movies on Friday nights for me. There was no going out to eat. I was in the restaurant all day long getting ready to get crushed because it was just one of the busier stores in the whole country. You just get used to that, and then you realize that you're missing a lot. Well, online you can do anything. We can take our computers up to our hotel rooms and make sales. We can send out emails, make sales. We can email my coders and programmers and have them moving my business forward. Where if I was away from my gyms, you don't know what's happening. You really don't. So that is my story. I didn't put anything in here for Liz. I just put that Hulk picture.
Thank you.
So why don't you give...
I can't imagine what you would have put.
I was going to put a bunch of jokes
I'm
in there.
sitting here going, oh God, what is he going to do to me now? That's funny though, because the last presentation that Jeff and I did together, he took, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the film The Exorcist, and Linda Blair when her head's spinning, and he put a picture of that was me. So this time I'm like, cool, that's a great picture. I'm not shocked at all. I'm Liz Tomey. I am 30 years old, like Jeff. I was born here too. I have kids. I have 5 kids. From 21, I got one that's 21, one that's 18. She just went to college. I've got one.
Explain stepkids for the 21.
No, I like to let people go, she's 30 to 21? Started when I was 9. Yeah, no, the top 4 are my stepchildren, but they're my children. And then the next one is 16. She is a sophomore in high school. She's a total diva. And then I've got my boys. They are 9 and 7. And they are probably the driving force behind everything I do, my kids, because it gives me the total freedom. My husband works with me. He doesn't have like an outside job. We call him the head office wench. We use other words, but you guys get the picture. He's my HOB. But he's the strength and I'm the brains. He's the muscle and I'm the brains. I got started when I was 19, same with Jeff. I was in college, started getting into the get rich quick programs, stuff like that. Got on a bunch of mailing lists. This is offline stuff. And I started seeing all these things coming in. I'm like, MLM? I'm not really sure I want to do that. Because all I knew about MLM was Amway, stuff like that. And I was like, no, that's not me. So I joined a couple of MLM programs that did really well. And I got bored with it. I was like, okay, I know how to get people into these things. I can get my people motivated. I can bring them in. Let's see what else I can do. So what I found is these people that were in these MLM programs needed advertising. They had to be able to advertise to get people in their downlines and stuff like that. So I started a direct mail advertising business. Ran that from the time I was 19 till I was 24-ish. Brought it to about $70,000 a year. Nothing huge. For a 24-year-old kid, it was huge. So I took that and built it up huge. Had dealers. In the offline world, affiliates are called dealers. And I had several dealers that would sell my advertising for me, and then they would send me half the money or whatever their commission was. They'd send me the rest of the money and the person's order. I'd fill the order, and I'm done. I don't have to deal with the customer. And I'd stuff things in the envelopes. I was already doing back-end marketing at that time, and back-end marketing was the key to that business. A lot of my stuff, I would give huge commissions, 80 and 90%, 100% commissions. Even before the whole $7 script came along, guys, I was doing 100% commissions. It's not a new concept. It's a very old concept, and it comes from direct mail. Took that business, and my husband had gotten laid off. This is like 2004, I believe, 2003, 2004. Can't remember exactly. I think it was 2004. He had gotten laid off, and he had been in a previous marriage for 14 years. He'd always been Mr. Mom. But also had to have this great big huge job. And so he came to me and he says, okay, I'm laid off. We live in a town of 800 people. Do you think there's a lot of industry? No. We got a gas station and a stop sign. That's it. And he didn't want to work at the gas station. He's an architectural engineer. So that wasn't even an option. And I said, you know what? I said, we've got these 5 kids. We've got this house. We've got all these car payments, all these bills, yada, 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 just like everyone else. How about you take over my business and I'll go start a new business? And he went, what? He's like, I can't do that. And I was like, oh, just trust me. And he went, okay. And so I started researching stuff online, and I basically took what I was doing offline and brought it online. I stopped with the advertising, and what I did is I started creating educational products, stuff that educates people about how to run your online business. And then I got affiliates to promote all those products for me, just like I did in my direct mail stuff, like I did in my offline stuff, and it just exploded. I started seeing success about 3, 4, 5 months into it. After I was about 5 months into it, we were to the point where we were getting ready to lose the house, the vehicles, electricity's getting ready to get turned off and everything. And my husband's going, okay, I told you, you should have let me go get a job. I said, hold on, it's coming. And a week later, I had $37,000 in my bank account because I had done a product launch. I was able to save the house, pay off all the bills, the whole thing. And I just want to, point out what Jeff said. It's about finding your proven business model and applying it to your business. If you don't have a business yet, you don't even need to look at business models. You need to look at, what am I going to do to make money online? That's your first step. And then your second step is going, okay, who else is doing this? Okay, let's see what he's doing. Watch what he's doing and align your business with him. Then you can throw in stuff that makes it bigger and better. So that's me.
All right, things that you're going to learn this weekend. This is a big one. How to focus on one idea and one idea only.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know, even for us, it's a challenge. We have boards now up in the office because I'm trying to balance all of my workers too. We even know what each worker is going to do. We have all our ideas. What we do is put them on little pieces of paper. We stick them on the whiteboards. All the possible ideas for big products, for kind of like upsells that'll help existing products make more money, and then additional things. A lot of it's advertising, things like that. Then we look at them and go, okay, which one's going to be the easiest to implement, the fastest, and make the most money, kind of a combination of that. And we move that up and we give that to one of the people in the office. Because what you tend to do is kind of jump between all these great ideas. So yeah, even everything we do, we try to concentrate on one thing, at the most two things. And a lot of times that has to do with the coders, programmers, because we have five guys working on stuff. Well, they all can't kind of work on a project. So one's working, or a group, half of them are working on the current one, then half are getting the next one started. But I would say definitely pick one and one idea only. And I'll go into more details, obviously, on that. You're going to be learning the exact things that we would do if we were starting over again. Say if all of a sudden our laptops blew up, we had didn't have any more sites, we lost our website's hosting, but we know what we know now. You're going to pretty much see what we would do. And it's proven, and you're also going to hear about the mistakes. Sometimes finding out the mistakes, avoiding those mistakes can save you so much time. So my experience of 25 plus years in business, and then our combined experience, and then the combined experience online, you're going to find out exactly how to do it.
Yeah, but you're going to getting all the mistakes